How's it going, everyone? I'm Louis Crypto, and today I'm going to tell you where Bitcoin is headed to. But before we get into that, please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment and enjoy this video. So we're going to start off on the 4-hour time frame, go to the 1 day, and then finish off with the 5-day time frame. There are a few things to talk about on the 4-hour. The things that are screaming out to me is that, of course, we are under the EMAs. We are, of course, a bearish cross to the left over here, and consistently hitting our heads on the 20 moving average, as well as attempting a break of the 50 after a bullish candlestick signal at support, with a failure to break out and head to this 200 EMA here. I'm going to tell you whether, if it does break to the upside, where it could be heading, but also its breakdown targets, as again we are in a bearish cross. We are beneath the moving averages, so everything is screaming bearish. But I will prepare you if we do get a random pump that reclaims these moving averages. So of course, right now we're looking at this layer of support over here, with this being the lowest body candle close at exactly $25,569. I would take this as our support level of defense. So if we do lose this with a 4-hour candle closure, this would be an area for a bearish retest. So do expect, if price does continue to come down, that at some point this area between 25,500 to 25,600, if we do break down, will be retested as a resistance. If it's then reclaimed and held as support, then we could have an opportunity to the upside, and we'll now get into those bullish patterns that are potentially there. So what I'm personally seeing is, yes, we're holding this layer of support. However, we've got all these negative factors ahead of us, but we do have a potential bullish pattern over here. What I'm going to do with this potential bullish pattern is ignore this point over here, because if we condense this a little bit further, when on the daily or even the 2-day time frame, we would see that this is a wick rejection to the upside. So personally, I'm going to ignore this and go from this point to this point with a line on your chart or whatever. I'm going to keep it without drawings at the moment, because there's a lot of drawings already on the chart if I do remove the hidden drawings. However, what I am potentially seeing is a shoulder, head and shoulder. Now the neckline, again, if we aren't to ignore this, if we were to use this, our neckline would be from this point to there, but we are in this example going to ignore this point as of the as of what I mentioned earlier. So going through this point to here, we've created this neckline, which we can just say is that 20 moving average. So we don't even really need to draw a neckline for this pattern. We know that a break above the 20 will validate this pattern. Of course, we would like a clearance of the 50. We've already seen it struggling in the past over here and over here, and even with a breakout above it, we need that retest of support for that continuation high. Over here we had a fake out, so for that reason it's essentially like a wick, like this one over here or this one. So that's why for this specific example of this bullish pattern, we're ignoring that point for the neckline. So a point going through point A and point B and just extending it forward, we created this left shoulder, a head and right shoulder over here. So a break through these moving averages followed by a back test would most likely bring us back up to where we first created resistance. Can we see how we started to reverse with these green candles and something just sent us back down? There's an area of resistance over here between $26,400 to $26,600. So if we were to ever break out of this bullish pattern, although not what really should happen as of what the EMAs are telling us as of this current moment, that is where Bitcoin could be headed if we were to break up. But again, guys, what I must reiterate, what I must just say again and again and again, is that we are in a bearish cross. We are hitting our heads on these moving averages. The expectation is to finally break down out of this to the downside, unless we get that unexpected move up, and then this area of support will become a resistance, looking for a retest from there. And if that is confirmed as resistance, this could be an area to short in upcoming videos. So do stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, like and turn on that notification bell as well, so you're kept up to date when these videos do actually come out. So let's now move over to the daily time frame. I hope you are enjoying this video so far. There's not much to say on the daily. I have quite a bit to say on the 5-day, but what we can say on the daily is that there's a bearish cross looming, or a death cross looming. We're about to get the 55, or most of you use the 50. It really doesn't matter which one you use. It's just my personal preference and something that I do teach about in my education. More details can follow. You can private message me. All the links are in the description down below, but let's keep to the video update. We are seeing a potential death cross here looming, and essentially that's just going to put a nail in the coffin and say the daily trend has completely changed. We've already got precursors to that. By losing the 200 EMA, you're already shifting the daily trend, and an attempt of reclaiming these moving averages, which we did, but just couldn't hold it as support, just further confirms the stance that this is bearish also on the daily time frame, not just the 4 hour. We would have seen it first on the lower time frames, now we're seeing it on the higher time frames, and this is why we are going to head into that 5-day time frame right now. But yeah, essentially we saw that EMA resistance back test over here, looking for that continuation, another one over here on the 20, just further confirming that we're just getting nailed down, hammered down. But there is a support to the left over here that is keeping us bullish. Essentially, if we're looking at the lows of this entire range, we do have a lowest point over here with the bodies and the wicks. Maybe this wick's a little bit lower, but the bodies for sure is lower over here than to the right. So right here on the right hand side, we do currently have higher lows, although we do have all of those bearish factors like your death cross looming, already another bearish cross over here, daily bearish cross over here, just further confirming that we are trying to go and continue into a downtrend. However, we do have a layer of defense between 24,800 up until and around, yeah, just say around here 25,350, where these wicks are sitting over here. So this is what is essentially holding us up, stopping from this huge pattern that I have mentioned in a previous update that we will go into detail right now, which is this giant M pattern. This is your first top, this is your second top, or double top formation, which we'll look at on the 5-day time frame right now and turn on those drawings. Finally, we can see that we are beneath the 200 EMA as well as the rest, the 20 and the 55, and we can see multiple attempts of trying to break above but failure. So that is just another negative factor that is essentially saying that we should expect Bitcoin to continue in the coming weeks and potentially month plus. And again, if we do go down for that long, it's going to take a long time to reverse and come back up and flip bullish again. So essentially, although we have lost these uptrending moving averages and potentially about to form a 5-day bearish cross, which is very significant, the higher the time frame you go, the more important it becomes and it cannot be ignored. However, this is what's stopping us at the moment. The levels that I just gave you, 24,700 to about 25,000. I think I said 350 over there. So we can see if I now turn on those drawings, this is making it a little bit clearer. We can see that we're trending within a rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern. Again, we are in a massive downtrend over here over the past 2 years or so. And again, last 6 months or plus, we've been going up. And now looks like it is rolling over after heading into this extreme resistance, being that 200 5-day EMA, losing the shorter term ones, but still being held up by this neckline. Now you can use this horizontal one, and that is why I've drawn out this 24.5 to 25.2k support / resistance that we saw to the left. It was also a previous inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, and right shoulder over here, using this horizontal resistance of this range. So that was our high at that point until we broke out back in March of this year and flipped it into support June this year. And it now looks like if we were to lose that point, we are of course continuing this macro trend reversal to the downside. Now there's also another neckline over here, which is this ascending one of this M pattern, and already, as you can see, we've broken down and tried to reclaim it, back testing the shorter term moving averages as resistance, but also closing beneath this neckline, with the next 5-day period that just passed running back into it as resistance, holding that neckline, this ascending one, and actually closing beneath it, signaling that this is truly a resistance and that we are expecting in this next 5-day period to see a rejection, which we've now seen over these past 3.5 days. So we've got 1.5 days left. So after today, there's just one more 24-hour period before we get this confirmation. Yes, we have backtested this as resistance, and we're now leaving the station, trying to head toward its target, which we got from the highest point back down to the neckline, and placing it on the breakdown, which we see over here. So the target itself would be this 1618 target at about $21,000. It's a little bit above that. You can read the number over here if you want the exact figure, in and around that area, which almost takes us back down to that CME gap range over here. And that could be your correction done and dusted if you then follow this next set of criteria. Guys, if you are enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I hope to see more of you joining my Discord community or taking action on the education. Remember, again, you can get 3 months totally free in my Discord community. Just private message me for more details. And so if we were to go ahead and meet this target, again guys, you can stop at any one of these 3 levels at 21.2, 22.3, or 23.1. However, the actual target itself out of this pattern is down at 21.2k. Nevertheless, it can stop above that point, just remember, and reverse. So Once the target is finally met, if we do break down and lose this 1 fib level of $24,700, we're expecting this to be our target. And so if it is met and the pattern is completed, what I would then like to see for this to be done and dusted and out of the way, and for us to get that reversal and bullish continuation, is a reclaim of that 1 fib level confirmed as support, and then of course breaking back above this neckline over here. This is what's going to give me a little bit more confidence of an attempt to go ahead and break out over here above 30,000. This is what we would essentially need to see. If at any point in time we fail to reclaim the 1 fib level, or we do reclaim it but fail to hold it as support over here, this could get very nasty. We could be going for a deep correction. However, what I must argue to those bears out there calling for 12k is that I do not believe we will lose this low. Again, things can change, and if anything does change and we're given those signs, I will let you guys know. Otherwise, for this very moment, I do not believe we will lose this low. I think the bottom was in and we called it very nicely, and I hope to see you guys continue to follow along with these updates so I can further update you if anything does change. But as of now, again, you know what I've said today. Go watch it back if you have to. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And again, any further questions, just hit those links in the description down below and private message me on X or twitter.com. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. And as always, peace.